Hey YouTube, welcome to Sunkerns Lab. Today we're going to do some Pokemon Online live commentary battling, and last time I did this, I don't even remember when the last time I did this was. It's been a long time, but basically all of my teams were fucked because of the tier changes, and yeah, so I had like one team to use, and it was like my fucking Haxorus team, and then Haxorus got banned, and then that team was gone. So basically everything was gone. I had nothing to use. So basically I built this team, I modified this team, I built this team, and then this team is always here because it's just good old-fashioned destruction. But yeah, I built a lot of teams, and I've tested them out, and they're fucking terribly good somehow. I don't know why. Like, I didn't even put much effort into making these teams. They just kind of turned out good. So I'm gonna go for a triple possibility here: NU, UU, or LU, or RU, as I call my teams RU because I fucking hate LU. Less used. Like, what the fuck is less used? Why would you call it less used? Like, hello. There's already a name for it. It's called, like, rarely used, I think. I'm pretty sure it's rarely used. Why would you call it less used? Rarely used? Okay, whatever. Anyway, we're going to find a battle. I don't know if it's going to take a long time. If it does take a long time, I'll cut it out. If it doesn't, then you'll see it right now happening. But it seems like it's not going to happen. So, yeah, be right back when I get a battle. Alright, guys, I just got an NU battle, which is awesome because, like I said, I love this team. All the teams that I built recently, for some reason, have just been working well. I don't know if it's because if I'm, like, good at building teams all of a sudden, or I don't know. Anyway, point is this guy has a Golem, which is like the worst thing for level 1 Dwebble, so it kind of breaks my heart, but I think I'm just gonna have to try and take this thing out as soon as possible. And this thing doesn't have hidden power fighting, but that's okay because Shadow Ball does enough, I think. Damn it, I was hoping that he would try and kill me, to be honest with you, because if he had tried to kill me, I pretty much could have just... Okay, he's probably gonna go for the Sucker Punch. Gyro... Hello? What is this? What is this Golem? You realize Golem gets Sucker Punch, friend? Whatever, I guess it doesn't matter. To each his own. I wouldn't run Gyro Ball on that thing, but... Like I said, to each his own. Okay, I have no fucking clue how I'm gonna deal with this thing. I do have the double dancing fracture, so I guess that could come in handy later on. I'm gonna go for the Shadow Ball. Oh, I forgot that this thing gets a Shadow Sneak. I can go into my Dwebble, and if he decides to kill me, if he decides to set up, then I'm gonna get a free layer of spikes. Stealth Rock, so kind of forces him to kill me, which might not have been a great play because I kind of just wasted it, but I had no other use for it. Once somebody sets up Stealth Rocks on a Dwebble, it's kind of like useless. I hope that he lets me set up. And I don't think a Dragon Claw will take him out, so I'm gonna go for the Outrage. And that does literally nothing. But luckily his Shadow Sneak isn't gonna take me out either. So I should be able to take out this Muck. And not only that, but I should be able to smack something else in the face pretty hard. Because nothing else on this team carries priority. And holy shit, this is why this thing is such a fucking threat. People always underestimate the lower tier dragons, but this thing is a fucking monster. Even though that I got a crit, it might not have killed without a crit, but it still would have done over 50%. Damn it. Alright, not a big deal though, because I have Lanoon with the Belly Drum and the Substitute and the Extreme Speed, and yeah, I should have just gone for fucking Belly Drum if he was gonna go for Giga Drain. He has Life Orb though. I'm not gonna be able to go for Belly Drum this game, but I should be able to take a huge chunk off of him with that, which should be able to... If he stays in, then he basically loses right now, because I don't think anything can take a +1 X Scissor. Maybe this Regice can actually, but even so, I don't think Regice can really touch me unless it carries like Flamethrower or fucking Hidden Power Fire. Holy shit, what is this world? And obviously it's going to carry the Ice Beam, so I have to go for a Calm Mind. Wow, this guy just got... Okay, he definitely made up for every fucking crit that I got. And I'm pretty sure that both of those crits mattered. But, whatever. Life sucks and you die, what can I say? I did get another NU battle, though. Hopefully I'll be able to do, like, multiple tiers this battle because... Oops. Because I don't... Even though I like UU a lot, it's my favorite tier, by far, I still like to mix it up and do some different tiers. And a lot of times I end up just doing UU because it's either the team I have, like the last few battles, it just so happened to be the only teams that I had to use, or I'm just not in the mood to do other stuff. And I'm pretty sure Misdreavus gets Taunt, and this thing gets Taunt as well. Okay, and I knew that that was coming, but I didn't want to risk switching out. Oh, hello, Rhydon. I'm gonna go right back into my Dwebble, though. Set up a layer of spikes, because I can. If he sets up his own Stealth Rocks, I get up 2 layers of spikes, which is awesome, and this is why I love this Dwebble. Like, you like, even though it's a level 1, it puts so much pressure on people to attack you, that, like, quite literally, people have, like, a hard time setting up hazards just by not having this, because as you can see, yeah, he set up his Stealth Rocks, but now I have a layer of spikes and Stealth Rocks, and I'm gonna get... Oh, he had Rock Blast. I'm just gonna shove my foot in my mouth right now, so... I don't know why I went into this, but then again, I do have the hidden power of fighting, which does fucking diddly. Like, what the hell is this? Why is this Rhydon such a fucking monster? Rhydon and Golem are, like, the biggest problems to my team, and I don't know why. Like, why are they here? Why are they such a fucking issue? But my Fracture should be able to set up a DD in his face, and if he switches out to something that can't one-hit me... And I'm just looking at my HP going down while I'm here. Use Earthquake, which does fucking way too much. I was hoping that I'd be able to take that a little bit better. But... And... Oh my god, Rhydon, why? Why are you so fucking bulky? Like, seriously, what the hell is going on? Well, at least I can take that thing out finally. Took me, like... I basically blew 3 Pokemon trying to take out that one fucking guy. I'm gonna go into my Haunter, because I don't want him to be Will-O-Wisping my Lanoon, even though I could have predicted the Shadow Ball and gone into my Lanoon. I don't want him to predict that in Will-O-Wisp. I'm actually going to substitute because I doubt that he's going to want to stay in here, especially knowing that I have the Lanoon. If he just starts going for the Shadow Ball over and over again, I can basically ruin his day. So, yeah, is this thing Life Orb or Leftovers? Yeah, it's Life Orb. I should have figured that out. Holy cow. I love Haunter. If Haunter can put in a little bit more work in this battle, I'm pretty sure that I should be able to win. And this guy probably has the Aqua Jet, which is going to destroy my whole team. So I kind of have to fodder off my Pinsir because... Oh, okay, he had Life Orb, so he just killed himself. That's okay, though. Unfortunately, I did lose... Basically, I don't have any more health on this thing, so kind of have to just let it die. And now I can bring in my Haunter, and hopefully go for the Sludge Wave. I don't really know if that's going to kill, but he doesn't stay in, so it doesn't matter. And I should be able to take out his Grumpig now, which, honestly, like I said, because of the work that this thing is putting in, I should actually be able to win with my Lanoon, which is great. Because I should be faster than Zangoose, if I remember correctly anyway. And he's probably just going to go for, like, the switching around like an ass, predicting me to go for the Shadow Ball, so I'm just going to go for the Sludge Wave. Not going to play any games with a fucking Misdreavus. Because what I would prefer is for his Zangoose to die, him bring in his Misdreavus thinking that it walls my Lanoon. And then I can set up a summon my Lanoon while he goes for whatever move he chooses to go for. And I'm going to go for the Extreme Speed, just because I don't want this thing to take me out. And now I'm going to go for the Substitute. He might just take my sub out, but now I can go for the Belly Drum, and that's pretty much a good game, because, yeah, and I'm happy that I was able to get a Belly Drum off, even though he forfeited. But that's the point of this team, is basically the reason why I have 2 ghost types on the same team, first of all, is because I'm very... my hazards are important, because once Dwebble goes down, I have nothing to set up hazards, and I don't even have a defensive pivot once Dwebble... Well, Dwebble isn't really a defensive pivot because he's level 1, but if I needed him to, he could take a hit, because he has Sturdy and the Berry Juice, so... Yeah, I mean, we have a defensive pivot, possibly, if we need it. And the rest of this team is hyper-offensive, and Dwebble is just basically dropping hazards on people's heads, and... Yeah, so basically, I just don't want people to be spinning out my hazards with any type of rapid spinner, and between Haunter and Driftbloom, I can mostly handle the rapid spinners in the tier, which basically is Wartortle. I mean, there are other spinners, but Wartortle is basically the only viable spinner in my opinion. So, yeah, so that's why I have 2 ghost types, and, oh yeah, and the other reason is so that I can lure in things like Misdreavus to go for the Shadow Ball, get a free switch into my Lanoon, go for the substitute on the Will-O-Wisp, go for the Belly Drum, kill everything. So, now that I'm done explaining the team, I hope that I get another NU battle. Alright, good. Goody, goody, goody. Let me get the screen fixed up. Alright, so this guy has a Feraligatr. Oh my god, why is Tornadus still in fucking RU? That's all I have to say about that. I just say why. I don't even have, like, a follow-up. I don't understand how Pokemon Online can think this is a good idea. Like, you have a poke that can literally 2-hit KO everything in the game, and it's just chilling in RU, you know, no biggie, just chilling. Like, what the fuck, game? Whatever. He's probably gonna lead with his Golurk to get up his Stealth Rocks, so I'm gonna lead with my Crustle, because Crustle can get up hazards as well. And I do have rocks on my Golurk, but I have rocks on my Crustle too, because Crustle is pretty much guaranteed. Like, he's guaranteed to set up rocks if I can't get rocks up on something else. And as you can see, I'm basically setting up every single hazard with my Crustle. And looking at his team, he doesn't have a spinner, and not only that, but his team is extremely weak to hazards. So I basically just, I'm not going to say that I won, but I put myself in a very, very good position right now, where I can bring in anything I want and start to really, like, wreak havoc on his team, because nothing can really take hits. So, like, in this situation, I have my Lilligant, which is a huge threat to his team, and the only thing that he can really do at this point is bring in something to take hits or paralyze me or something. And I mean, basically, as you can see, like, this Clefable doesn't even stand a chance. And I'm pretty sure that Clefable is probably defensive, because if that's not defensive, he doesn't have really any defensive pivots on his team. And as you can see, even the good old-fashioned Typhlosion, the Resist, after all those hazards, this thing gets fucking smashed. Tornadus, not living. Basically, this guy just lost because he let me get up all my hazards. You know, he had an extremely threatening team, but he didn't take into account that hazards take half of his Pokemon's health away every time they switch in. And that's one of the most important things of the game. That's why people always, you know, you watch YouTubers and they say, oh, you should always run a Rapid Spinner if you can, or, you know, if you aren't going to run a Rapid Spinner, then run a poke that can, you know, avoid hazards getting up, like something like Xatu, or basically anything that can guarantee, like, a taunt Pokemon. I mean, all these things are great counters to hazard users, especially when using something like Crustle, which, excuse me, take a drink of water, because I've been talking too much. You know, things like Crustle, which are only for hazards, effectively. I mean, Crustle doesn't have any other niche in the game. It is only a hazard setter. And this guy's team looks bulky as hell. Which is actually a good thing, because... Let me just fix this. Okay. It's actually a good thing. Anyway, let me get back to my topic before I get offhand. You should always carry something to at least avoid people getting their hazards up. Like, for example, I have a Hitmonlee, which I believe this Hitmonlee carries Fake Out. Oh no, this Hitmonlee does not carry Fake Out. But I do carry Lilligant, which has Sleep Powder, which basically outspeeds the majority of hazard setters. So if I'm afraid of hazards, I can basically just drop a Sleep Powder on something, and hopefully it'll hit, and basically put that thing in a position where if it doesn't switch out, it's going to let me set up, or if it does switch out, it basically loses its opportunity to set up hazards. So, Yeah, you should always carry something. Even though I don't carry a spinner, I have other things to take on hazard setters. So, anyway, let me get into the actual battle. This guy's team is bulky as hell, but that also means that he probably doesn't have anything to take out my Crustle in one hit, or at least 2 hits even, because it has sturdy. But I should be able to set up a couple layers of spikes on this Uxie, because he's probably the Stealth Rock set. But no, he's actually going to be what I would assume is a Choice Spec set. Because that does way too much for a regular Uxie, considering that it is a Crustle. Crustle does have decent bulk. He's probably going to predict me to switch. And he isn't Choice Specs, which means that he's just basically a monster, which is, I mean, Uxie is a fucking monster. Uxie always surprises me. It doesn't matter what it's using, it's always fucking surprising me with something. And it's actually a Trick Room. It may be a Trick Room Calm Mind Uxie with mono attacking Psychic, or U-turn. I guess this is just a Trick Room team. I mean, you know, it's a Trick Room team, so that's why it's so bulky. Let me just copy down the team so I can actually remember. I think I'm about to get smashed by this Trick Room team because honestly, I'm not even close to prepared for Trick Room. I'm gonna have to assume that this thing is banded, which puts me in a pretty bad position. I can set up my rocks here, which, like I said, hazards are gonna help me out a lot. And I don't think that this thing's banded. It's definitely not banded. Well, then again, I am max defense, max HP, so I might be banded. I don't know. And that was a really risky play, considering that he could have easily just gotten hit with a Shadow Punch. But then again, why would I have gone for a Shadow Punch? So, now, more than likely, he's going to switch into his Drotagon. I mean, that's the only thing that can really take a hit from me, so I'm going to go for... Okay, I guess, apparently, he wants to just stay and let this thing die, which I guess is a fine play as well. Mispirit is kind of just dead weight on his team because he does have an Uxie, which just does the job better, so not a big deal. But he does have this Dusknoir, and it's gonna kill me. Like, I can't do anything about it. But I can avoid him from sending him a substitute because I don't want a sub up. That does give me a free switch in my Entei, though. He cannot take me out with anything, and the only thing that he really has to touch me is Slowking. Oh, I've totally spaced out that his Trick Room is up. Da-da-da. That does give me the opportunity to switch in my Crocodile, though, and Crocodile does do a lot of work to his team, so I'm going to go for the Crunch. I'm not going to predict the Aggron, because even if the Aggron comes in, I don't really care, because, for one, it can't set up Trick Room, and therefore the rest of his team isn't going to be able to benefit off of it all that much. What did I just take out? The Dusknoir? Yeah. And, secondly, it's not really a huge threat, because I can basically go into anything I want and counter it. All I have to do is fodder something. I mean, if I fodder out my Hitmonlee, I can go into my Lilligant and go for the Sleep Powder. If I fodder out my Lilligant, I can go into my Hitmonlee and go for the Bulk Up. And something is going to be unfortunate enough to have to deal with that when this thing dies. So I'm going to go into my Lilligant because I don't really have too much of a worry about this thing in terms of my Hitmonlee, because Hitmonlee after a Bulk Up should be able to take a hit and take this thing out with a close combat with a Fighting Gem boost. So basically, his team might die right here, right now, because I have +1, I have the speed boost. He has a Slowking, but, I mean, Slowking is not going to appreciate taking a Stone Edge, and after the Slowking dies, or after the Slowking is weakened, it's not going to be taking crunches all that well. And, yeah, so pretty much this thing is down to the point where I can bring in my Crocodile, go for the crunch, and I don't know if I'm going to be able to take out that Drotagon, but I should be at least able to do some decent damage to it. I'm pretty sure that I lose either way. Like I said, I'm nowhere near prepared for Trick Room. My team is very fast. Even my Crustle carries a speed. I'm pretty sure it's Jolly Max Speed. And, you know, obviously, with Jolly Max Speed, this thing is obviously going to take me on that rage. With Jolly Max Speed, you outspeed a lot of things, but, yeah. So basically, my team is outsped in Trick Room. Always. Excuse me. But that's okay. This guy has a weird team. This team kind of looks like an NU team with... No, it doesn't look like an NU team. I'm just kidding. I only looked at this thing and I was like, oh, that's an NU, and then everything else is RU. But my Hitmonlee really gets to his team, because unless this thing is scarfed, and he just forfeited. I think that, honestly, I don't think he could have won whatever he did, because his Hitmonlee I have Golark for. His Steelix I have Lilligant for. This thing is going to get destroyed by hazards. This thing I have Crocodile for. I have Entei for this, and this thing is just going to get smashed by everything. And his whole team gets basically destroyed by Hitmonlee. So I don't, honestly, he might have just forfeited just because he was like, didn't feel like playing, but more than likely, he saw that his team was basically, he was out-teamed. Not that he might have been a good player, but he was out-teamed. And the reality is, you can build as good of a team as you want, but there's too many threats to cover in Pokemon. I mean, this isn't Gen 1 with only 151. You have to take into account the 600 plus Pokemon, and there's no way to cover every single threat. And this guy has a really threatening team as well. But I think what I'm going to do, I have a spinner. I just don't want something to get put to sleep right off the bat. So I'm going to lead with my Darmanitan. And this thing is a threat, if there ever was one. And I'm not sure if he's going to want to stay in, because he could be, like, scarfed. But generally these things run a spec set with Overheat. Either way, I think that my best bet here is to just stay in and go for the U-turn, because if he goes for the Volt Switch, I'm pretty confident that I can live one. Though I'm not going to enjoy taking it. I'm pretty confident I can live one, but I'm pretty sure that I outspeed him if he's running the spec set. And he's running a Choice Scarf set, which is interesting. But he does go for the Trick, which is like, why trick a Darmanitan? I mean, now you're basically fucked. Like, I don't understand that. Like, that was a terrible idea. That was a terrible first play, and I hope that this guy is better than that, because I don't want to deal with fucking shitty-ass battles, but I'm going to go for the substitute. He may go for the trick again to try to trick me the Choice Band, but if I go for the sub, I should be able to avoid that. Then again, maybe not if he's running max speed, but actually in that case, I think I'm just going to go straight for the Fire Blast, because he may, like I said, actually, you know what, fuck it. Let's just go back to Darmanitan. I'm pretty sure he's going to try to get that Choice Band off of him. Because, like, I wouldn't want a Choice Band on Rotom H, and that's what I would do in his situation. Then again, that might be the predictable move, so I don't know. I mean, we'll see what he does. He's taking forever to make his move, and if he takes too long, I'm probably... Never mind, I was going to say I might switch. I may, what's the word I'm looking for? I might edit out, but he didn't take that long, so... He might go for the EQ. If he does, I don't really... Honestly, I should have just fought out my Darmanitan, because I don't really want this thing alive as a Scarfer. And now I can get at my Stealth Rocks. He doesn't have a spinner, and he also doesn't really have anything to block my spin. So this is... My Claydol is my #1 priority to keep alive right now. And now he's probably going to go for the Stun Spore. If I was him, that's what I would do. So I'm going to go into my Shaman. He goes for the Giga Drain, which is fine as well. I don't know why, though. I mean, he could have just basically gotten smashed if I went into my Chandelure. So I'm going to go for... I don't know what I want to switch into. I mean, he has no clue what set this is, and I don't want to reveal it just yet. So I'm going to go for the Synthesis. That kind of reveals to him that I might be a defensive set, because I have Synthesis. Most offensive sets might not run... Well, he might not know that offensive sets also run... a recovery move, so, you know, that might have been a good bluff. It might have just been useless thinking on my part, but whatever. And now that he has his Umbreon out, I know that Umbreon can't do anything to Heracross, so he might predict my switch into Heracross and go into his Crobat, which would be a very good play, but in that case I always have a free switch into my Empoleon, so the only thing that on his team that really wants to take a close combat is his Crobat, and the only thing that can take a Megahorn as well is his Crobat, because he can go into a Slowbro, but he's going to get smashed by a Megahorn. And even this Crobat, I mean, even considering that's a crit, I understand that's a crit, but for a 4 times resisted hit, that still does a shit ton. And I'm Jolly, I'm not Adamant, so... Anyway, I can switch into my Empoleon, like I said earlier, and go for the fucking Choice Specs Hydro Pump. And he may go into his Amoonguss, which will be fine, but... Okay, of course I miss. I was really... hoping to see what kind of damage that did. Really? Okay. Can I hit 1? And look at this. Like, he would have been dead right now if that had been... And now I'm in Torrent range, which means that I can basically switch in this thing at any given point, go for a surf and smash something, which is great because, I mean, the point of that thing is just to have a powerhouse, and that is what it's what it is. It is a powerhouse. And yeah, I'm pretty sure that the clay doll is basically useless at this point. He may try to trick me the choice band, but I don't think that that's really a good choice for him. So yeah, basically just gonna follow off my Darmanitan because at this point the only thing on his team that's really kind of like a threat to me is this Crobat, because everything else on his team takes a lot of damage from close combat. As soon as this thing goes down, we basically are put in a situation where he has to kill me. Okay, anyway, let me finish what I was saying. If I can get rid of the Crobat, he's put in a situation where he's going to get swept by Heracross late game. But by going into my Empoleon, I'm basically forcing him to attack me, because if he doesn't attack me, something's going to get smashed by a Surf. He's not going to live a Choice Specs Torrent boosted Surf. Nothing on his team is going to, so he's basically forced to attack me, which also puts him in a position where he's going to be at a lower HP than he normally would. Because he's not going to be able to go for the Roost, basically, is what I'm... Point of this is so that he cannot go for the Roost, because if I brought in anything else on him, he could outspeed and go for the Roost. Lovely water. So yeah, just basically forcing him to go for the attack. I don't want him going for the Roost, and hopefully he'll let me set up a substitute with my Chandelure. I think I could have probably saved my Empoleon for later, but whatever, it's not a big deal. I don't think anything on his team really wants to take this thing on. Like, yeah, he does have this Umbreon, which can do work, but like, first of all, it's not going to enjoy taking a Fire Blast, and second of all, more importantly, it doesn't want to take a Pain Split when I'm at low health, especially when I'm at as low health as I am now. Because now this thing is going to be down to no health when it kills me, and if it doesn't kill me, then it's basically fucked. Because I mean, this thing doesn't even break my sub with a Foul Play. That is pathetic damage. I guess that's why I run. Well, that's not why I run, but it's an advantage to me running the most negative speed I possibly can. And now his Umbreon is dead, and I should be able to either take something out or badly damage something. And that was a really good play on his part, because at this point, the best thing that he can do to me is go for Volt Switch. And like, he could go for any other move to this is a complicated situation, because his best move is to Volt Switch. So if he Volt Switches out and I go for Pain Split, I basically put myself in a great position. But if he doesn't Volt Switch out, he's just going to break my sub and kill me on the next turn, and then he has a fucking Rotom H alive sitting here. So I think I'm going to go for the Pain Split, predicting him to go into something else, and that's actually what he does. Because if he stayed in right now, it would have been a great play on his part, because he would have forced me to kill him and die to my Life Orb. And yeah, obviously he wanted to either save this thing for fodder or just predicted me to go for an attack, which if I did go for an attack right now, then he would have basically won this little skirmish. But because I predicted him to switch out, I'm pretty sure that I should be able to get enough health back to live any hit. Unless he goes into his Crobat, he might be able to take me out with the Brave Bird, but you know, that's life, I guess. He doesn't want to go into his Crobat, though. I know what he's thinking about. He doesn't want to go into his Crobat, because if he goes into his Crobat, he dies. But if he goes into his Amoonguss or his Rhyperior, and I Pain Split, like, he loses either way. Like, in his mind, he's in a lose-lose situation right now, and what he doesn't know, that he could go into his Crobat and just take the Pain Split and kill me off with a Brave Bird. But like I said, if I did go for something else other than Pain Split, then Crobat would be dead, and that's his number one key to keeping my Heracross at bay. But now he did go into his Rhyperior, which basically, I mean, at this point, it's pretty much game over. I mean, it's obviously there's still quite a bit of a battle to go, but his Crobat's dead now. Obviously it's not completely dead, but it's dead to the point where close combat is going to take it out, I think. Actually, you know what? Fuck it. We're going to count that, because I'm not going to risk it. I'm not going to risk it, because I don't want this thing to be living and taking hits. Then again, he does have a Amoonguss, so I guess it doesn't really matter, because a Amoonguss can still take close combats all day. Yeah, I'm just gonna calc that because I am curious, and also this will be a good. Okay, never mind. Showdown is down, and that's the only calculator I have saved. So I'm gonna go for the Stone Edge. I'm not gonna play any games and take that thing out. If he goes into his Rotom H, it dies to rocks. If he goes into his Amoonguss, well, I don't really know what he can do to me in Amoonguss. Excuse me, unless it's like a choice spec set. If it's a choice spec set, then he might even win. It's possible. But, and this guy has, through this whole battle, he's taken forever to take his turns, which means this is probably going to be the last battle. If he had, moved quickly, I probably could have gotten another battle in there, but because he has made the decision to take a year and a half of his moves, it's basically adding another 10 minutes to a video that could have been 20 minutes long. I could have had 2 more battles going on, but he takes a minute for each turn, which is just shitty. Now I'm going to go for Stone Edge, and I know it's not going to kill or even do a lot of damage, but the thing is I have Sleep Talk. I can go into my Claydol basically as fodder, and once I go into my Claydol, once I have this thing out of here, once I have my Heracross out, it's basically game over, because I can go for Sleep Talk. His Amoonguss, as far as I know, his Amoonguss can't touch me. It's possible that it could, but I doubt it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go for the Ice Beam. I'm pretty sure I'm faster, and just basically get this thing down to the point where, oh, I froze him, but it didn't really matter. His Rotom H is effectively dead. To get this thing down to the point where I can bring in my Heracross and take it out if my Shaman somehow dies, if it has a poison type move. If it has Sludge Bomb or something, or Sludge Wave, I think it gets Sludge Wave. If it has a Sludge move, then we can deal with that accordingly. And he has Stun Spore, so I don't know what his game plan is here, because he's going to switch out. Obviously he needs to get his Regenerator back, and now he's fucked, because he used his Stun Spore on me, and my Close Combat does a fucking shit ton, honestly, and now he's basically dead, unless my Mega Horn misses, which is fucking garbage, putting that out there. And now I'm going to wake up, obviously, so I need to go out into my thingy, go with Hidden Power Ice, and just finish the game, finally. I hope that he doesn't time stall. Okay, good. Well, that's pretty much the end of the game. These were really good battles. I know I lost. I'm pretty sure I lost 2. I don't even know how many battles I had today. Maybe 4. My UU ranking is my highest ranking by far. The rest of my rankings are not good at all. But then again, as you can see, 9 battles in OU, 10 battles in NU. I don't really play other tiers that much on my own. Like when I'm not recording, I usually just play UU because like I say all the time, UU is my favorite tier. It's a tier that I enjoy the most, and so when I'm just playing for fun, that's where I play. And lately, I've been trying to work my UU rank up a little bit. I haven't been serious about it, but I've been getting it up a little bit. So that way, as you can see, I believe in my last UU PO Live, I was at 1050 or something, and it was because I didn't have any battles to show for. Not to mention that because I don't play anymore, my rank, I shouldn't say I don't play anymore, because I don't play a lot, my rank decays often. I was at one point, I believe, at 1200, and then it basically decayed down to 1050 or so, and now I'm back up to 1200 again. I haven't been really laddering, but from winning, just from using the teams that I use, like I said, the Scarf Harasheti, this used to have a Shetty, the Shedinja on it, but unfortunately it was replaced at one point. I don't remember why. It did actually sweep a few teams. I actually swept a few teams with Shedinja, and it was really interesting. I don't want to get into a rant here, but yeah, so I'm just basically going to stop. But just putting it out there, my rank is higher, so my UU battles should be a little bit more interesting in the future. At least, that's what you would theoretically hope. You get a higher rank, and because I only battle within 150, I'm battling nobody below 1000 ever in UU. So, yeah, it's always a good thing, in my opinion, because I like to battle. I like to have good battles. I don't like to smash people. It's fun, but it's not good for videos, so. Anyway, I don't even know why I'm talking, so you can click the buttons on your screen to see my last Pokemon Showdown video, Pokemon Online video, excuse me, or the next one when it's uploaded, and you can subscribe to my channel. I feel like I had more to say, but I don't really know, so I'm just going to not say anything at all, and if I forgot, then I'll probably put it in the description or something. So, thank you for watching, I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time.